Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for BoardGameGeek, and I'm sitting with Eilif Svensson and Christian Usby from Porta Games, and you guys have brought us a new generation, to use the title from the box, of Capital Lux. And a lot of you might remember hearing this title back in 2016. If you guys could just start off by describing what's the relationship between this version, now Capital Lux 2, and how does it connect to the original back from 4 years ago?
Yeah, it is the same basic mechanics. The new thing is that you have 16 capital powers instead of only 4, which you can mix and match and combine in 256 different combinations. So you play with one random set every game. Each power is streamlined and easy to learn, but each unique combination of 4 powers will greatly influence how the game is played. So Capital Lux 2 feels like a new game every time you play.
Now, it is possible, though, that you could... Oh, sorry. It is possible, though, that you could still play the original 4 powers that were from the first Capital Lux in this version as well, correct?
They are included in the new version, the 4 capital powers. So there are 12 new powers, but also the 4 previous powers are included in the game.
Well, let's assume maybe people are like, I've never heard of Capital Lux. I don't know anything about it. Let's still walk through what a turn looks like, how the game's going to end, how you're going to win. Let's assume people just haven't played this before. So take us through just an overview of the turn structure.
Yeah, so what you can see in the middle of the table, that is the capital, and each player has their own home base in front of them. So the game is played over 3 rounds. And at the beginning of each round, you draft a hand of 6 cards. For this demonstration, you just take a hand of 6 random cards. And on your turn, you can play a card either in front of you, into your home base, or into the capital in the middle of the table. You want to play cards in your home base because at the end of the game, all cards in your home base will be worth their value in points. However, at the end of each round, and the round ends when you have played all your cards, for each color in front of you, your total value cannot exceed that of the capital. If it does exceed the value in the capital, you lose all cards of that color. So you will have to play cards into the capital to increase the allowed limit, but that will, of course, also help the other players. So, yeah, like this. And when you do play a card into the capital, you activate the color's special ability. And these abilities will greatly influence the game, and they will be different each time you play. So if you want to play, you can see here, for each of the 4 colors, there are 4 different powers. And when you start a game, you pick a random power for each of the colors, which you place in the middle of the capital. So if you play a card, if you play a yellow card into the capital, into the middle of the table, then you activate the yellow power. The round ends when a player has no more cards on hand at the end of their turn, and then each other player gets one last turn, and then all players must play their remaining cards into their home base. And at that point, you check for each color if your value is higher than that of the capital. So you see here that in the blue, in the blue color in your home base, you have a power of 6, which matches that of the capital, so that is allowed. For the pink color, you have a value of 5, which is allowed, and so in this case, you don't bust in any of the colors. But if the value in your home base is higher than that of the capital, you must discard all the cards of that color. And you want to get as close to the limit as possible, because each round, the player who has the highest value in each color without busting receives a bonus card from the middle of from the capital. So,
and the bonus cards are also worth points at the end of the game, according to their value.
Yeah.
Now, you guys also, since I feel like the the juicy part of this new edition is having these adjustable powers game to game for the capital city. You guys have also created some sets that you suggest for players to kind of start with. So they are, can you talk a little bit just, how they're lettered together to kind of help people to get their feet wet?
Yes, we have some predefined sets. I would guess the gamers would like to pick a random one for each color, but we have some sets that are predefined that we feel that will fit together at least the first time you play. But you can pick a random one for each color. That's maybe the funniest part, that you get a unique game every time. Which will influence your strategies for that particular game. But the powers are very different. So for instance, the Doomsayer here, then you pick a random tile from a stack. You see the pink tiles in the capital now, which is 1 and 3. Whenever the sum is at least 5, you need to remove the lowest value card of each color in the capital. So therefore, I guess that's why now they have played a little carefully in the home base, so they will not bust. Because, for instance, the yellow 3 will disappear, and actually the green 3 and the pink 3 and the blue 2 will disappear the moment the value is 5 or higher. So that's a Doomsayer. And the Aristocrat, you choose one. You should actually have them face up. The yellow tiles, Aristocrat tiles, should be face up. There, yeah. So you choose one of them, and double a card either in the capital or in your home base. So you need to find the card that is exactly half the value of the token. When it comes to the Discoverer at the right, then you move on the Discoverer track, which you find on the right side there. Depending on the card value, you move up to 1, up to 2, or up to 3 spaces. And then you trigger the space you land on. And that space could either be to draw more cards or to trigger another power, one of the 3 other powers. Also, at the end of the game, you could, if you are on a point space, which you see there, 4, 5, 6, etc., you will gain that points at the game end. But if you are at the action space, you will not get that points.
So the basic principle here is that the base rules are very simple. You either play a card in front of you for points, or into the capital to increase the limit and to activate the special ability. And these special abilities will influence the other colors. And yeah, so it's a very tactical game. And now we have shown 4 of the possible powers, and in total there are 12 more powers. So, and each combination of powers will make the game feel very different.
And Liz, I want to mention too, because you guys were able to get Kwanchai back to do the artwork for the 2nd edition as well. So is the artwork similar to the original, identical? Did he create entirely new drawings for this?
It is set in the same universe. So we have used, we also have another game from last year, which was Rebel Knox, which is a card game set in the same universe. And some of these characters are from that game, and some of the characters are from the from the new ones. Yeah.
And now you guys also have, which also stunning for its game art as well. And there's a solo mode now for this game as well. Is that unique to this version, or was that also present in the 2016 version?
No, that's unique for this version. So there is a deck of 14 cards, which we call them Automa deck. So you can play it solo against an automatic player, which is called Rob. which you could stand for robot. So you should beat Rob, and depending on how much you beat him, you will gain some some rewards. So but you win if you beat him.
I'm wondering if you guys could also talk a little bit, because you, along with Capital Lux 2, you also have a pocket edition. If you could talk a little bit about how this version compares to the pocket version.
Yes, there are in this version there is a solo mode. You don't have that in the pocket version. So there are 2 to 4 players in the pocket version, and there are 12 powers instead of 16. So you don't have this discoverer, as you see there. You don't have the mentalist, and so on. So yeah, there are 4, because this discover track doesn't fit in a small box. So you mostly have tiles and cards in this pocket version, but it's very portable, and you get 81 different combinations also there already in a small box. So it's a great pick for those who want smaller box and portable box to bring on vacation, for instance.
Now let's talk a little bit about availability. If people are excited to see this, maybe they've played the original and they would like just to have access to those 12 new capital powers that are unique to this version, how can they go about getting it, and when is it going to be available?
Yes, it will be. Unfortunately, production is delayed because of the corona situation. You can order it at SPIEL.digital, but it will be delivered in January, hopefully, or hopefully earlier, but we have said January at the page. It will be printed the first week of November if everything goes as planned in China, and then it will be shipped to the warehouses and then sent to the customers, hopefully in January. So that applies to both this Capital Lux 2 generations, Capital Lux Pocket, and the expansion for Magnificent, which we will talk a little bit about later if we are allowed.
I was going to say, actually, unless you guys have anything else that you wanted to talk about Capital Lux 2, this is a chance to kind of, let us know if anything else that Aporta is coming up with in the next couple months.
Yeah, do you have an image of the contents for? Yeah, there it is.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, Magnificent was a success for us last year at Essen, the base game. So we have made an expansion for it, and you can now play up to 5 players. And there are two new things in this version. There is a new performer called Snø, which refers to the title, of course. She has her own white buildings, as you can see in the picture, or camp tiles, as we call them. And she also has new posters. Snø is very powerful, but makes more use of the clear dice, if you know the game. The clear dice cost money. So this makes the drafting even more tense, since it's now actually a viable option to take a clear die early. There is also an optional module. If you play with that, each player has 5 turns each round instead of 4, where one of the turns has to be a special action. And then the special action is to take a master tile, which you see in the lower part of the picture there, and execute the action. There are 5 master tiles available in display. So the action is to take one of these master tiles, execute, and the new dilemma is, do you want to do this early in the round to gain maybe the best tile, or do you want to take a die early to take the best dice? And this action is very quick, so it doesn't the game length will not be increased significantly. So there is a new dilemma there. And the game also comes with a lot of contents of what you already know before. 53 new master cards, and these are unique. None of them are the same from the base game. So you have 9 new scoring opportunities, and you have a lot of new bonuses on top of the cards. And you also have 8 new trainer tiles with special actions you can take, and 8 new tents. It also comes with some player order cards, as you see in the middle of the picture there, and 2 new player boards also, with which are double-sided. So more of the same, and 2 new features.
And when is the expansion for the Magnificent going to be available, or anticipated at least?
Also in January. It's produced at the same time, so it will be in January also. You can pre-order it now, either as the expansion only or as a bundle with the base game.
This is a chance also for the chat. If you guys have any questions for Eilif or for Christian, this is the chance to get the scoop from Aporta Games. Was there anything else that you guys have coming out, maybe earlier in development, that you just want to talk about? Because we do have about 5 minutes left. That is all yours.
Yeah, we have two games that we've been working on lately, which we are considering for 2021. And one of them is a large box strategy game where you are colonizing a planet and you are exploring a planet that has previously been colonized by aliens, and you are now rebuilding this planet. And and it's a game with tech trees and deck building and a lot of features. So that is like a complex gamers game, which we hope will be ready for Spiel 2021. And and then we
maybe a new version of Chase of Ducana, but that's a secret.
We do have a question from the chat back to Capital Lux 2 for a moment. If you weren't able to back it on Kickstarter, is there anything that is unique to the Kickstarter version that is not in the retail version that is coming out in January?
The retail version is the same as the backers get. The backers also got included in the price the expansion and the mini expansion, the stretch goals. You can buy also the expansion now. The mini expansion is not ready for sale for SPIEL.digital, but you can buy both the base game and the expansion. So that's it.
Well, Eilif and Christian, I want to thank you both for giving us the time and the attention to be able to give us some sneak peeks of stuff coming up with Aporta, but also a full walkthrough of Capital Lux 2. And I think this is a testament to how quick this game is to pick up, in that it really only took you guys, 10 minutes to explain the entire game. So if you guys are interested in checking this out, if you're not familiar with Capital Lux from 4 years ago, this is Capital Lux 2, which is Generations, also has a pocket version in a smaller box. And thank you both again for taking the time to talk with us today.